you spell her last name?
Arellano.
Okay. Is she with the Seatown team or some other team?
Nope, she was my team.
Oh,
Yeah,
on your team. Got it.
yeah.
Okay.
There's Holly. Excellent. Well, what do you guys like are lucky right now because you have the stage all to yourself. Do you have any, no, all questions are great questions. Honestly, we are at I know the market is, people are panicking. I was just looking in Ballard because that's where I live and I just have a pending transaction there myself. I know it very well. It's a very hot market, the Ballard neighborhood pocket. It is, I would consider one of the best neighborhoods in Seattle, right? For urban village type stuff. It's a great indication of what's going on because all the shit we're hearing on the news, there is no national real estate market, guys and gals. There is not. It's local. It's hyper local, right? So what's happening in Tacoma has nothing to do with what's happening necessarily in Seattle or some of the neighborhoods or wherever, right? So I feel like Ballard and looking at the east side because of how the tech and the drop in their stock values might affect things and interest rates and all that stuff. To me, I was just thinking today, I'm going to be watching and tracking weekly here some of the hottest neighborhoods where I know things always fly off the shelf, right? Multiple offers on review dates, blah, 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 blah. And at the price points where people still have funds to buy, 1.2, 1.3 higher. I'll also take a look at Pierce County because I'm curious to see in the lower price points what's going on. But I was just looking here in the last week and in my own experience with my own transactions going on right now. Ballard, still everything in the last week, pretty much selling on offer review date. The difference could be one offer instead of 4 to 8 or whatever, but still selling way over list prices because experienced brokers are going to kick the ass of everybody else right now. I got $200,000 over list price on my listing that's pending right now with one offer. Well, how did I do that? Well, I did that because I know what to do. That's why. So it's, I don't want to talk about residential real estate necessarily or broker stuff, but we can watch the same for all the investor type properties, the multifamily, right? 5 units and up is commercial lending. Those rates are totally different. Those rates are still maybe okay, right? There's all kinds of opportunities if I was looking to do flips or burrs or investment stuff right now, I would be calling the lenders and staying in touch and having a 15-minute phone call with my favorite lender every week. We might even, or you come here and we'll have those people on with us. I don't know if Albert's going to jump on today or not. Like I said, it's a busy week here. I don't know who's on here right now, but the number one to me thing that people could do right now is absolutely understand all the loan products that are available, whether that's for investing or for traditional brokerage. If you're a broker or you're a broker investor, my favorite, or you're just an investor, or even if you're a wholesaler. If you're a wholesaler, you got to understand these things because you need to be, when you're a wholesaler, you got to be the smartest dude in town or chick in town. You have to be able to underwrite the deal at the exit for that end buyer. If you're wholesaling, right? Obviously, if you're an investor, you need to know that for yourself, right? If you're a wholesaler, you don't know how many different buyers, what their qualifications are, their experience. And so it would be cool when wholesalers put out deals right now, or anytime, frankly, if they would say the ideal buyer for this is somebody that uses private money at, no more than 8%, or, somebody that, almost like qualify who the deal is for, rather than just throwing out an address. And, wholesalers there's not very many good ones. Let's put it that way. But learning about all the different loan options. So knee like your knee that you walk on, over at Certain Lending. Certain Lending is a local, actually more than local, they're a national hard money lender. They have all kinds of loan products. And what's so great about those guys is if they see a gap in the market of products available to serve issues, they like build a product around it, right? So they do have a, when you're talking about lending these days, you got to pay attention also to which loans have prepayment penalties and which don't, right? Something comes with a prepayment penalty, it's probably a lower interest rate, right? But if something doesn't have a prepayment penalty, such as Certain Lending's 2-year loan product at, I don't know what it's at, maybe at 8% today, that does not have a prepayment penalty. You don't need your income to qualify. You get stuck in a bad flip, that'd be one you might want to go to, right? The 2-year product at Certain Lending. For those of you who want to work with investors or are investors, start learning what's short-term. You're going to go, what's the short-term loans available to me? And what are the longer-term loans available to me? And what are the terms of those loans, right? Because if you're lucky, you can do a long-term loan. That's what everybody likes. But if you're forced to get into the short-term world to gap whatever may or may not be happening right now, you just need to be on top of that. And guess what happens if you're on top of that? Then if things go crazy or the market is doing whatever it's doing and all that stuff, you are going to be able to grab deals better than anybody else because you know what type of loan or exit strategy, plan A, B, that you can put on it, right? This is my favorite way to do it. This is my backup plan to do it. And you have to know how you're going to get your money out or pay off whatever debt's on there, right? You have to reverse engineer into it. Those who know all this stuff are the ones that are going to be able to take advantage of any opportunities, if there are any coming up in this market, right? I mean, frankly, that goes year round in any market. You should know that. I basically say, if you're getting into investing, stop watching videos about how to flip a house or where the plumbing needs to go or who's got the cheapest tile. Who gives a shit? You don't have a house to flip. You're going to spend the next 2 years watching videos like that. There's no way what's the point if you don't know how to get a house? So, or an apartment or whatever you want to buy. So what you should do is you should learn about debt first, so you can reverse engineer your way into deals. And number 2, you need to learn about creative real estate, seller financing, lease options. This market is kind of looking like 2018 a bit, and lease options, get on it, right? If you hang with me like Holly does, that is going to be a big topic for us. I actually think about it. Let's say you had a flip. Where's Jack? Is he on here? Jack, if you had a flip, right? And let's say something goes wrong with your flip, or you're like, crap, I got to drop the price on this flip and I've got hard money on it, right? You might be able to convert that hard money loan to Certain Lending's 2-year loan product that has no prepayment penalty at like 8% or 10%, whatever the number is, right? To get out of your hard money, hurtful, high payment situation. And follow me for a second. This is something I'm thinking about this week. So I haven't crossed all the I's and dotted all the T's yet. Come back next week. I'll tell you if I got it done. But I was talking to Nee about it at Certain Lending. If you, let's say in order to keep the value that you need to sell your flip for, your prices might drop 10%. If you can get 5% of that back, or even stay the line at the number that you need to offer something to a buyer, right? You need to offer something of value to a buyer in order for them to be willing to pay you that premium, because they're probably going to stay there, for 10 years anyways, a retail buyer. and this market doesn't going to matter to them necessarily, right? But they're going to offer you less because they think they can right now. So, and if that makes you panic and you need to hold the line, maybe what you're able to do is take that flip and accept a lease option from this buyer who needs to sell their house in order to buy your house. They're like, oh my God, time's ripe for me. I'm going to go make a contingent offer to Jack on his flip. Jack's like, heck no, I don't want a contingent offer because, I don't know how the market's going to react to your house, right? So what you do instead is that maybe, and I'm working this out, guys, I'm talking as I'm making this up as I go, maybe you offer them a lease option. And because you're giving them that right to have these special terms where they can lease your house, move into it, so they can sell their house vacant and staged, which will fetch a higher price for them, right? They, as part of that process, they have to pay a non-refundable option fee. What does that mean? That means a lump sum of money. It can be whatever you negotiate it to. If you're an investor and you're doing the lease option, you want it to be a low number. But if you're an investor receiving a lease option, you want that to be a high number. You could make it 3%. You could make it like earnest money, right? It's non-refundable and they lose it if they don't exercise their option to purchase the house. What does that do? Maybe that closes the gap on what the market is saying you need to list your house for. Now you've actually collected that gap with the option fee money that's non-refundable, or maybe they're just going to exercise their option and it's all going to work out, right? What else can you do? You can hold the line on your higher price because you're offering these very favorable terms these buyers can't get anywhere else. But Julie, I have hard money on it. That's going to suck. Well, what if you go convert that to a 2-year loan at certain lending at 8% with no prepayment penalty? So then they exercise their option in 9 months, right? You're collecting a premium rent or a good market rent to cover your monthly payment. And maybe that ends up in the big picture, your net number out of the deal is way better, right? It gets you closer to where you wanted to be. You guys follow what I'm saying? This is what I did in 2018 and crushed it. I would do both sides of the deal. I would broker lease options. I'd have a listing. It'd go stale. The seller's not under pressure. I want this price. Well, you're not going to get that price. So what do? I bring in somebody who offers up a lease option. I let them lease the house at a big fat lease rate. No more maintenance for the owner. That tenant buyer has to take control of all the expenses on the repairs, right? Get a big fat lease option fee that's non-refundable. Okay, well, right there is the win, because if he doesn't close on it, we'll go back on the market. We've already mitigated the gap of we went down, because I got you guys following me. And in my case, the guy exercised his lease option. My guy collected a huge non-refundable option fee, and he collected rent the whole time. So that price he wanted to get, he continued to get it up there off this rent, right? In that case, he wasn't paying a hard money loan, right? So he owned it free and clear. But there's so many, you got to be plugged in to the people that know what they're doing. And at this point in the market, it's going to be really fun, really super fun. I was just, I saw some posts. Let me see if I can find it from somebody I know that's a Redfin agent. Okay. And this gal I know posts this post right now. Oh, she does busy Redfin agent. She says, oh my, I have lost count how many times this conversation has happened in my business. Sellers, if you want to sell right now, you have to be prepared to accept the market response. The market always decides the value of your home. No agent, friend, or family member gets to decide the worth of your home. The market will tell you clearly whether it deems it higher than list or lower than list. Both valuations are correct. What the hell? Then she shows this chat from this joke, The Broke Agent, where it says, some buyer's agent says, my clients won't come up any further any further. That is their highest and best. That's a buyer's agent saying this to a listing agent. The listing agent says, she doesn't have to sell, by the way. And then the buyer's agent says, oh, okay, then take it off the market. This kind of shit is stupid. Okay. These people do not know what they're doing. They don't have a creative bone in their body. They are old school dinosaur brokers, right? And this applies to investors who need help with their flips right now. That is so wrong. In that situation, you could introduce seller financing. You could introduce, they don't have to sell. Well, then they're not in a hurry. Right? That means that they could accept a seller financed offer that gets them their price because you're offering a benefit to the buyer. They could offer a lease option. And because you're offering very favorable terms to a buyer, you get to hold the line, right? This is the most bullshit thing. It's laughable to me to see something like this, because the worst people in real estate right now are traditional real estate agents that walk in and say, let me tell you how to list your house for sale. You got to spend $5,000 on some paint and some stuff like that. Those people are, how investors used to get the bad rap? Traditional agents that only know how to do that. Worst, I love you guys, but come on, you got to learn modern brokerage. And if you are an investor like Jack here, wholesaling and flipping and all that stuff, you sure as hell want to be working with somebody that knows that. And guess what? Along the way, you learn it too, right? You learn it as an investor by hanging out here and by working with people that can help you. There's no reason to panic if your deal goes stale. There are options. There are options. It gets fun. That's what makes it fun, right? You guys following me on this lease option stuff?
Oh yeah. Already start seeing that some of that kind of discussion happening. I just had one that I'm waiting for the seller to terminate the wholesale contract that they have right now, and I'm going to come back to them next week with exactly what you're saying. Because I have a buyer who really wants the property, but it's just there's so much work that needs to be done, and I'm like, maybe there's something about, something with the lease option that we could do to make it all work. So,
heck yeah. I mean, I think even with lease options, let's just say there's all kinds of ways to skin a cat, right? You could have the right to make improvements in your lease option contract. You could be leasing it, make improvements to the home, right? And then close on it, because on a lease option, the purchase price is predetermined. It's predetermined. The purchase and sale agreement gets signed up front. Separate lease option, or separate lease, separate purchase and sale agreement, separate documents. But it's not like it's negotiated later. The price is negotiated at the time you do the lease option. Okay. So, what could come up is some sellers say, well, you know what? 9 months from now, 12 months from now, on this option where you have an option to exercise your option in the next 12 months, the market might be back, though, whatever. They bitch about the value will be more at that time. And I have to negotiate with you now. So what I do in those situations, it can work either way. It could be by the time the buyer exercises, the market value has dropped further. Could be that it goes up, right? So what I did in 2018, dudes, I'm the master at this stuff. I cannot wait. This is so fun. Is that you can actually build that into an addendum on the purchase and sale agreement. I call it a waterfall agreement. Okay. That's what I did last time, we'll say, where we were worried the market was going to go down, right? It wasn't going to appraise maybe for what, and this is a retail buyer buying it on the back end for what the contract price was on the strike, right? When they exercise the option. So we agreed between buyer and seller. I wrote out a waterfall schedule. If it appraises at this, let's say that's 20 grand difference, buyer and seller, you know, the new prices shall be this and this, and they split it a little bit, right? If it appraises at this, you know, and we use percentages between, or we use numbers. If it praises between 650 and 700, you know, the buyer's price is this, the seller agrees and buyer agree, the price shall be this. You can handle any objection, right? You just have to realize that you can. Anything goes. But with all that said, you know, be good, honest people. I'm not here, you know, I'm not talking about taking advantage of anybody. This is a win-win-win for everybody. This is just somebody that wrote that thing that I just showed you guys. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. They think you got to take that price that the market just told you. No, you don't. No, you don't. Not even if you have pressure on you like Jack with a flip on hard money. No, you don't. Now, whether, you know, it's going to be case by case, whether something like that works out, right? Because maybe you might need to have some reserves, right? Or maybe, you know, that only covers it part of the way for you, but that's better than nothing. I'm just saying you guys got to know about this stuff. So you know to attempt to do it, or that you're working with people that know how to attempt to do it, right? You know? Any questions? I'm hyper, guys.
Where do I sign?
Well, the good news, Jack, is all this is for free. There's no sign in here, unless you want me to be your agent, then here you go. Or you want to be, if you're an agent and you want to hang out with me, contact me separately. Just text me 206-910-2985. If you want to like get in my, you know, broker investor world, that's a separate conversation, not for today, but if anybody wants to, just let me know. So, but the rest of you guys be here every Thursday talking about this kind of stuff, right? Or you guys can hit me up during the week. Just don't call me 10 times unless you're in my special group. But what else? Who else we got on here? Hi, Jay. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys? I know I just jumped in mid conversation, so I was just trying to catch up. But this is my second time coming. I'm a newbie investor here in Seattle. I'm a grad student at UW.
Cool.
Just always happy to connect with people and learn. So yeah, thanks again, Julie, for the information.
Awesome. I love your photo shot there. Nice
It was
treat.
fall time, prime. I was like, I think up at a winery somewhere here, so it was great.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. Well, if you guys haven't, there's a new group in town, by the way. You know, we're the best conversation in town weekly, hands down, no doubt. I have no doubt about that. I'm not even embarrassed to say it. We are, period. Okay. But there are other Facebook groups besides Seattle Investors Club. You want to stay in with us because you'll hear what I'm talking about. But you guys are probably all members of WARI, Washington Real Estate Investing. If you're not on Facebook, go check it out. Jan's group, Jan Wano, W-A-N-O-T. That is also very entertaining. Like you can get your popcorn and just watch the friggin' stuff go down there. It's pretty funny stuff. Little brash, I don't know the word. There's another group that I highly recommend everybody joins right now, and that's the 10X Real Estate Group, hosted by Ty Nguyen, Nguyen, like Nguyen, but Nguyen is how I say it. 10X Real Estate Group, local, having awesome events. I'll be going to those events so we can go knock elbows and stuff there. But Joe, maybe you can drop something if you find the 10X Real Estate Group down in the chat here. Good people, smart people, you know, nice group, starting to grow like crazy over there. We all like to support each other here in our local real estate investing scene. Have you been to one of their events, Jack? Did you go to the last one?
See, Ty Gwen, right? Her, right?
Yeah.
Her name sounds familiar. I think I met her once or twice, but I didn't know she had a group.
Yeah, it's no, Joe, it's just a Facebook group. not a .com.
Oh,
So maybe delete that because that's not accurate. It's on Facebook. It's called 10X Real Estate Group. I'm actually going to talk to her to make sure Grant Gardone's not going to get mad at her for that
It
name.
looks like it's the same thing.
Is it? With Ty and Francis and Alicia?
I don't
Let me
know.
look.
Here's the Facebook one.
No, I don't know. Is that? No, that's not it. Is it? Let me see. Let me see. I'll find it. Let me see. I don't know how to figure it out. Okay, see that? 10X Real Estate Group on Facebook. That's what the top looks like.
Yeah.
Anyways. So what else?
can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask if anybody who does flips are still buying anything these last 2 weeks or 3 weeks rather?
Yeah. Oh, is anybody
Show of
buying
hands.
anything?
Yeah, show of hands or anybody that can chime in.
Not me, but I can tell
Maybe-
you, I will grab this Bigger Pockets that James Daynard was just on. That I don't, you know, there's so many different Bigger Pockets shows now. I can't keep track of them all. But James Daynard and Camille or Jamil, what's his name, from Keegley was on there, and Kathy Fetke was on there. Did anybody else see it? But James Daynard, our local big time flipper, right? The big elephant in the room. Do you know who I'm talking about, Jack?
Yeah, he represented me twice already. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, if anybody knows what's up and who's buying and whether you stop or whatever's going on, it's going to be James. And I will go find that Bigger Podcast episode. Again, Joe, I can't remember the name of it, or I would see if I can find it here. And James had all the great advice on there on what to do right now. And it was basically keep buying, just buy at a lower price, right? Know your numbers, pad all your numbers, but keep buying, you know, you just, I mean, there's no reason to stop buying. You just have to, you have to know your numbers, and then you have to cushion your numbers, right? I mean, real estate can happen in any market. You know what I would do though, if I was a flipper right now, while I was working on the project, I mean, all smart ones would have, we buy houses, this is our company, while their construction is going on at the house out on the front lawn, right? Kind of like Jared does that. You should also put a sign in the front yard right now that says, want to buy this house. Text your number and go ahead and try and negotiate an off-market deal, even if you have to, you're not done yet, and maybe have it closed when you're done or whatever. Guess what else that is, guys, along the same lines I'm talking about? You know what that is? That's offering a buyer a very, very sweet term they don't get anywhere else. And what can you do? Because you're offering a sweet term to a buyer, hold the line on price, ask for full price, right? Rather than go on the market and worry about, oh my God, did I pick the right list price? Is it going to sit too long? Put a damn sign in the yard and try and pre-sell it right now. That's what I say.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Beautiful day in the hood. The tide's out over here. You got something you're working on, Jack?
Yeah, we're closing on our Kirkland house on next week. Finally, after fighting with the seller, on a purchase. Yeah, but this purchase was done way before. I mean, it was started way before all this fiasco with the interest rates.
Well, I think
So-
Kevin just jumped on here, and I can tell you probably a lot of deals are getting renegotiated. Like, it's crazy not to attempt to renegotiate right now on any deal. I think there's enough news out there, you know, that you could renegotiate your deals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We've had a lot of our investors midway through the transaction just say, hey, I mean, my interest rates went up. They're asking for more money down. This deal does not make sense anymore. And I mean, it's not a usual thing, but we kind of have to figure out something that works for everybody.
And they're willing to give up their earnest money because they're willing to give up their earnest money than lose 30 grand on their flip. They'd rather give up what, 1,000, 2,500, 5,000 or whatever. Don't be afraid right now, guys, to walk away from that $5,000 when, you know, if you think, oh shit, my deal doesn't sound so good, call me. Call me and I'll tell you, we'll work through it or whatever and double check your numbers. I'm happy to do that for you guys. I mean, my phone is ringing off the hook with people going, oh shit, my house is on the market. I didn't get any traffic. Can you go tell me what to do? I'm not even their listing agent. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you right now, but now you better start calling me, man. I can only have so much, you know, gotta work on my own stuff too here. But, you don't be afraid to walk away from $5,000 if you had to, because you could lose a lot more if you didn't do things right? Totally what needs to happen in this market, even for everybody in Kevin's world at Sundae. Kevin's was Sundae, which a lot of people, I'll let him reintroduce himself here in a minute, but everybody should be working with somebody that knows what they're doing right now, or having another set of eyes, another opinion to get their emotions out of the way, maybe even on these deals. If I was a flipper or wholesale or whatever I was flipping and I was buying deals right now, for God's sakes, I would be calling my agent ahead of time before I even bought the deal and say, this is my numbers on the deal. Do you agree? Right? This is what I'm going to do to the house. The end product's going to look like this. Do you agree with these numbers? You should be getting that buy-in in the beginning, you know, unless you're flipping. I mean, I can tell you, I know somebody that has 20 projects going right now, right? And guess what? They're super, super experienced, been doing it a long time, and they suck at setting the price because their flips, I think they used to not, maybe they're not as tight. They don't, that maybe, you know, you're trying to slam it on the market. You're not tight when you go on the market. That game over, you have to be tight right now going on the market. If you weren't going to do something like, should I do that or should I not? The answer probably is yes, you should right now. The buyers, the retail buyers have changed. The retail buyers, they don't want to take on any projects. They want stuff to be done. A lot of them are tech. They don't have time, but they still see these high prices. Prices are still up there, guys. Like, these retail prices are still way up there, especially on the east side or in the urban village neighborhoods that are great neighborhoods. They don't want to pay they want a house real bad because they've been trying to get one for whatever. They finally get one. They're willing to pay the high price, but they don't want to spend another 40 grand fixing something up. That's the read. That's the buzz in broker land right now, right? In just traditional stuff. Oh, I have this house. Should I sell it? Should I paint it or not on the outside, right? Used to be, you could probably get away not if everything's tight on the inside. Now I'm like, nope, we probably need to do that. And let me give you these options, how you don't have to pay for it up front, or I'll work a deal with you to get it done if you don't have the money. But, you know, in order to, got to be riding tight these days, guys. And that goes for the flips. And even the most experienced investors, in my opinion, flippers right now, I'm like, wrong list price, brother, wrong list price. And it takes a lot of work, unfortunately, to thread the needle right now. So you gotta be calling all the pendings. Whatever happened a month ago doesn't even matter. If you're going to price, when you go do your comps for your flips before you're buying them, you're only going to be dealing with pendings right now. So you're going to have an agent, if you're not an agent, be calling all those for you in order to get the information. You cannot price your flips off of what happened a month or two ago. Cannot. You can only price them off of what is pending right now. Right? And ideally to have 3 houses, not one. One house doesn't tell a story. Probably need 3 to tell a story. So you have something to point to as you are rolling, with your on market time. That's recent. Whatever happened in April, March, remember those took offers in February and, month earlier. Doesn't matter right now because the interest rate thing, right? The only comps are on market pending comps right now. So as an agent, what I tell my people, all my team right now, what you're going to do if you get a listing that's stale and the seller's freaking out and pounding on you, like, oh my God, it's 10 days on, oh, I'm freaking out, right? It's hard to send somebody a CMA or some comps and say, well, here's the comps, check them out. This is what's going on. No, what you need to do is say, hey, look, we need to get in the car and we need to go to all these properties that are pending, or we need to see them before they go pending. We need to tour all the homes that come on the market each week in our playing field before they go pending, because sometimes they take the key box off and you can't get in. Therefore, we know as soon as one of those goes pending and I can do my job and find out as best I can what it went pending at, we have the intelligence and a factual piece of data to make a decision off of. A list price, as we call them, an offering price, is not a factual piece of data. That's a hypothetical, means nothing. It's a number somebody picked to put something on the market at, right? You can't decide what you're doing with your property when because the agents are going to do all kinds of shit right now. They're freaking out. They're going to list them too high. They're going to list them too low. And where are you going to fall in? And it's going to change every week. So you got to go tour all the homes. If let's say Jack has a property that he's getting ready to list, for that 3 weeks ahead of time or a month ahead of time, he starts touring all the properties as they come on the market that are in his playing field of comps, right? So he knows how his property fits in with the different attributes, right? The different attributes of his property as that. And then once one of those properties takes an offer, that's actually a data point. A list price isn't really a data point, in my opinion, right? So I try to tell people, don't freak out about what the listing prices are. We need to go look at them. And if they get an offer, that becomes a data point that we can make a decision off of. I'm saying this as a broker because it matters to you as a flipper, right? But if you're buy and hold, that's what the game, buy and hold is probably where to go. The rents are still so high, right? Probably better to do that these days. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I'm hearing too. That's one thing I have not done. Yeah, that's very one. I think yeah, we need to get to that. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Kevin, why don't you introduce yourself since there's some new people on here that don't know you?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Keven Ackerman. I am the investor advisor with a company called Sundae. And what we are is an off-market property platform for investors to buy properties directly from sellers. So think of it as an MLS, but we are strictly for investment properties. And so we only take hard money, and it's pretty streamlined. We try and get you inspections, Matterport, so you can do all your due diligence from your home and not have to, be driving all over Western Washington to buy properties. So yeah, that's pretty much us in a nutshell.
So if you're an investor, you want to be able to get in and look at their deals, and, they have kind of an auction process or bid process, right? It's always available for a period of time. It's not like you got to even be there day one. There's usually how many days you guys give it, Kevin, usually?
4 business days. So yeah, less than a week.
Do you
usually.
guys ever accept early offers, Kevin?
If they're pretty strong and it's meeting the like what the seller wants to get out of it, then yeah, we'll present it early sometimes if the seller wants to.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're a broker working with investors, you're going to want to know about Sundae to bring your buyers in on, getting deals for your buyers there.
Yes, we're actually working on an agent program as well. So right as of now, we will pay at 25% if you bring us a seller lead. We'll pay you 25% of our 7% fee or whatever it is that we end up selling it for. So it's kind of a usually double than what most other people pay. And then if you bring investors, we will also work with you on getting your commission paid out as well. Although I will state that the buyer does need to pay that commission. So just be sure to mention that up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how we were talking about that Bellevue lady the other day, Kevin?
Oh yeah.
I have a new idea for you. I've been meaning to call you and tell you about on what to do on all those that are kind of not getting there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, so she didn't call, right?
Right.
But I have a backup plan for you and me on that. So if you don't hear from me because it's the last day of school, ping me and say, what's your idea? So I don't
Cool.
forget.
Will do.
Hey, Kevin, do you have a website we could check out or?
Yes. So actually just sent it right there. Yeah, marketplace.sunday.com. And you can sign up for free right there. And you can check out the Seattle market, 16 other markets around the US. So if you do want to check those out as well and you're investing out of state, let me know and I can put you in touch with the right people out there.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, whoops. That is. Add a typo on that. There you go.
Cool.
Oh, Holly, go ahead and announce the group that you got going on. It's awesome.
I started about a month ago, just a meetup group on Wednesdays at noon. For anyone looking to do house hacking. I've been house hacking for a few, 5+ years now, and I just want to help other people get into the market that way. I think it's a great opportunity to do so right now. And we discuss all sorts of things such as the different financing options available right now, the creative financing, what's going on in the market, lessons that I've learned or what other investors have learned, and anyone who might have any deals in the 2 to 4 unit range. Since if you don't know and you're a new investor, you can might be able to qualify for up to 4 units with a conforming loan product. So we talk about all of that in that meetup.
Right. Like you might think, oh, I'm going to buy a duplex, but you don't even realize that you qualify for a fourplex.
Yeah. So it just opens up more options when you're looking at what you're going to buy to get into the house hacking strategy.
Super awesome.
Hey, Holly, quick question. Do you happen to work with ADUs and DADUs as well, or strictly multifamily?
I strictly do multifamily. I have a couple properties on right now. Properties that I have right now, I'm looking at doing some development on in like a dadu. So, but I don't actively have the experience in that, if that's what you're asking.
Got it. Okay.
Kevin, what's the basis or background for your question? Because I was talking to somebody about how awesome it is right now to, do build to hold dadus.
Right. I mean, it definitely is a great opportunity to just, either create equity by building a dadu or just, being able to rent out the house in your backyard as well. And since we do mostly single family stuff with a lot of them have DDUs or ADUs, I was just curious to see if there was any overlap there to collaborate.
Yeah, there's some good, especially if you can carve off the dadu, right, in the condo thing, and that's the right situation. And then you basically resell the house, build the dadu, and now you've got I think you've got like a brand new construction buy and hold you can do. I mean, I'm interested in that myself. I haven't I haven't talked to my friends yet that are specialized in that, but might be a podcast episode we do or something.
I think Agent Chu's doing a good chunk of that stuff, right? Like just condoizing and
Yeah, he is, but he's not, I don't think I'm not sure if they're doing it, they're selling them all. I don't know that he's holding them as rental.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Right. And, but maybe we need to hit up Adrian to talk about that, Joe. Let me think on it for a second. Because I want to think about like the financing, all that stuff. But, yeah, that seems like, instead of everybody trying to force in Seattle or, these expensive market trying to force it to work by slamming a kitchen in the basement of a split entry to, have it pencil as a buy and hold in the Seattle area. Like, if you're able to buy a house and carve off the dadu, sell the house, build the dadu, and then rent the dadus are probably renting for an insane amount right now. I mean, that seems to me a super stellar path. It takes a minute, right? But I don't know. I can't remember who I was talking to about that. Maybe it was Carl. Awesome. Well, what else, guys?
Hey,
Keven,
Julie,
yeah.
I've got a question for you. Perhaps you can point me in the right direction. I'm brand new, like I said, to the area, although I'm from here originally. I need a network of people to help me set up. My family has some properties that I would like to develop, so I need to know the right people to be able to get started in that process.
Where are they located?
In West Seattle.
Oh, okay, I do got somebody. What do you think can be built there?
Well, they have a mixed use commercial / residential lot that in particular I think would be good to tear down the house and then put something up, like a few townhomes possibly.
Yep.
So I just don't know where to start,
Yep. Why don't you contact me separately on that? Here's my
Okay.
number. Ready? My number's 206-910-2985.
Okay.
Best time to call me is in the mornings, like between 8:30 and 9 or 9:30.
Cool.
So like not today, that'd be tomorrow. Yeah, sorry. I like to get all my calls all the way in the morning because things run away and I have kids too. So yeah, I'll hook you up.
I appreciate that. I'll give you a call soon. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Julie, I wanted to ask if you maybe had any recommendations for like a DSCR lenders. Currently working on this deal, 6-unit multifamily in Seattle, in Cap Hill. And because I am a grad student, I'm trying to basically get the rent rolls to qualify for some lending.
Yeah.
But it's a little difficult, so I'm just trying to see if I can maybe point me in the right direction.
Yeah. I would call Crux Commercial Real Estate in Tacoma.
Okay.
Rob Hawkins, I think.
I would say I talked to Flynn Family Lending this morning, and they said that they do DSCR loans right now.
There you go.
Too, on the conventional side. So I'd maybe check out them.
And Jay, you
but
should.
I think you need to. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say you guys should connect up, Jay and Holly. Jay and Holly need to connect up. She's going to be able to help you a lot.
I'll shoot you my contact, Holly.
Okay, sounds good.
Holly lives the I got great deals, let me find the money lifestyle. So you guys are a good match.
Yeah, I was gonna say with all the different I'm on the same boat as you, Julie, trying to find different finance options right now with the changing market on what's going to work, because the way that my strategy before. I just have to change it a little bit. One thing Flynn Family Lending was also talking about this morning was a long-term bridge loan. So I'm exploring that, but I'm definitely going to reach out to certain lending as well.
Oh, will you
So-
come back next week and tell me what long-term means? What does that mean? Is that more than 2 years?
That's what I'm trying to find out. Yeah,
And
because
what the terms are?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
and yeah, because I'm just trying to find. We're trying to find our next property, our next house hack, and I'm just running into. There's just the numbers are just not working, and so the questions that I'm trying to ask every listing agent is: what's the reason for the seller selling? You know, is it a trust or what's going on there? How much cash do they need right now? Like one of the listing agents told me that the sellers are looking to buy an apartment building, trying to figure out how much cash they need and try to figure out a creative solution to maybe move forward if they're looking to get some of that now. Another thing that I found out this week was that there's a max percent essentially that if I'm going to do like a bank statement loan, I can't write in the contract more than 6% of the seller concessions. So that was something to note
Explain
too.
that one.
So as far as like the seller buying down the rate, or the seller paying for closing costs, there's only a certain amount that the seller can go up to. Otherwise, it's let me look it up here. Otherwise, I think it was called a high-priced mortgage loan, and that triggers other issues trying to get it financed.
But that's all the time, right? That's not just, that's a across the board thing, I guess, probably. Too bad Albert's not on here today. That's good intelligence
Yeah,
there.
I'm reaching out to Albert too. So just he's a good contact. If I think he might actually do DSCR loans as well, Albert.
Yeah, he can.
So
I'm writing myself a note too, because I talk to Albert all the time. Hey, Holly, why don't we task you with, since you're working on it anyways, go talk to, like you said, Beth or whoever, Ursula over there, Flynn Family Lending. If you guys don't know who they are, check them out. And Nee on his 2-year loan product with no prepayment penalty, right? What those terms are versus what Flynn Family's terms are, versus, whatever else you're working on. And this question you just asked, and maybe next week you can tell us the answer or give us some more info. That'd be super stellar.
yeah, I'll confirm it with maybe another lender or two just to make sure that I'm on the right track with that, because that's what I was told by one of my lenders I work with often.
You know who'd be good resources? Keith Pitch too. He knows all that stuff.
Yeah, another thing I've been doing is trying to structure a loan where the investor who buys it will allow me to do an installment seller carryback. But then that affects the loan to value for the person in the first position. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, but definitely a lot more of a creative process.
Awesome. Love it. All that stuff, guys. Real estate's a crossword puzzle. I mean, that's what makes it fun, and you can have any terms that you want for the most part, but what restricts things is the debt, the lending. When you need money, that's where it gets restrictive, and it gets less restrictive the more creative you get, where the seller's willing to participate somehow. So don't go out watching videos how to do anything other than learn about debt, learn about creative options, and of course, lead generation. Those are the top three things. You kind of, if you want to get some practice in, just sign up with Sundae, look at all their deals and practice running your numbers. Practice running your numbers. And then guess what else? Don't be afraid to be in number 2 position. Be in the pocket behind. The first guys are going to fail a lot right now. They're going to back off. You could be there and be like Keven or whoever, whatever wholesaler you're talking to, like, if that deal doesn't work out, call me back. I'm still in the game on this one. Go run that first deal up the flagpole, good for you if you get it done. If not, I'm here, please. Because you know what it is? It's about communication. These wholesalers, they don't want to like have to recall everybody else. If you're just super responsive to them, like that's a no for me. When I used to wholesale, I would love it. Thank you for giving me feedback. Thank you for actually responding. You know, half the time they put it out there, they hear it's all deaf ears. They hear no feedback. They get nothing, right? If you're the buyer, the investor that gives them their feedback all the time, Jack, that's a no for me. This is why. That's a no for me. This is why. If there's another second opportunity on round 2, come back. 99% of the other investors are probably not staying in contact or not expressing no, but I'm still here. No, if you're just that person, they're gonna want to get it done easily. They're gonna give you first shot back at it. That's what I think.
I can definitely second that. I mean, just from the experience of if you actually communicate with me what you like, what you don't like, and even if you put yourself in second position, you'd be surprised right now. We're having a lot of people either back off or try to renegotiate. And now all of a sudden the second position becomes more attractive to the seller. So yeah, I mean, I definitely say communication is key with, you know, whomever you're getting your deals from, whether it's Sundae, wholesalers, or
Yeah. And what if that person in front of you in first position is just like, yeah, I'll pay cash. You know, I imagine if a deal gets done with seller financing or something, can you guys do those deals, Kevin? As long as there's a down payment enough if there's a down payment enough to get all the fees paid, why wouldn't you guys be able to facilitate that?
you know what, we haven't really considered that route.
Well, that's why we're friends, brother.
Yeah, especially nowadays with,
I mean, as long as the down payment is enough to get all the fees covered, what's the
Yeah.
difference? I don't know.
up to the executive team, but I wouldn't see why not. Yeah.
Same thing goes with a lease option. Maybe someone strikes up a lease option deal on one of the Sundae deals. The option fee covers all the fees. The non-refundable option fee that has part of that deal covers all the fees.
Mhm. Worth a shot, yeah. Especially if they aren't free and clear.
Yeah. Let me know if you guys want to get together and talk about it
Mhm.
in
Sweet.
person in Bellevue or something.
Yeah,
I'll come over to your office. I'm going to be in Bellevue every week now at our office. Across from Bellevue Square, we have an office for my VIP brokers.
not bad.
Cool.
Good stuff.
All right, guys, it's 12:30 on the dot. Anybody have any final questions for today? I'm hyper because there's so much to be done. It's not game over, it's game on, you know?
I did have a quick question for you regarding tenants. So we've got a seller who has 2 properties. We sold one to an investor and she really wants to buy the second one, but the second one has these tenants that are at best doing some very questionable things that may or may not be illegal. And they just don't want to leave the property, and the seller isn't really willing to put a notice for them to vacate. We're just trying to explore our options.
Why?
Why? Because her excuse is, I don't want to put them on the street and have them be looking for a new place to go.
Are they paying rent?
She hasn't even said that much to us. I believe they are, but I think she's also kind of scared because they've actually gone up and like threatened the contractor to like, yeah, pretty much like don't even try to buy this place. So it's kind of a tricky situation that we're just trying to figure out.
You gotta find a buyer who's willing to buy them in place and then go take them out after the fact. It basically approach it like, hey, if we have an investor that's willing to take this problem on, so you can just walk away and not deal with it, that's going to cost you a bit more of a discount, but we have buyers that'll do that, right? So are you willing to accept a lower price if you can walk away and not have to deal with the hassle?
Mhm. And that's pretty much where we're at with the investor that owns the one next door. She's like, hey, look, I'll pay whatever I got to pay for them to be in place and then I'll kick them out. So yeah, I maybe just make that option more attractive to the seller.
Yeah, I mean, if she doesn't want to do that, then she sounds slightly unmotivated, an unmotivated seller. Then what do you do, right?
Yeah, confusing seller, I will say.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure there's some solutions there. Well, good stuff, guys. I got to get to my 7th grade party here. Yippee. Looking out here. All right. Wrapping it up, counting it down. Everybody, don't forget about Holly's House Hacker meetup on, oh, Holly, go ahead and post that meetup info on Seattle Investors Club if you want to, as much as you want. I mean, not every day, but you know, within reason.
Okay, will do.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Then we'll get the word out for you.
Thanks,
All
Julie.
right,
See you
guys,
next
I
time.
hope to see you all in person at maybe one of the 10X events that are coming up. I think there's one coming up this month. I'm going to try and make it there if I'm in town. I like that group. I'm going to be trying to support those guys a bit too. So I will see you when I see you. Otherwise, I'll see you back here next Thursday at 11:30.